This is Football Night in America, served by Applebee's.
And it's time for our Week 12 recap. Maria Taylor alongside Tony Dungy, Drew Brees, and over there is Mike Florio. And guys, we have to talk about the statement wins that we saw in Week 12. And to do that, you got to start with the Bengals. For the first time since 2009, they've been able to sweep the Pittsburgh Steelers, but it really was in dominating fashion. What stood out to you, Drew, about the win?
Well, they flipped the script on them. You know, they ran the ball effectively, and they just got after them on defense. Rushed the passer. The back end played really, really well against some of the Steelers' weapons. Were able to generate some turnovers. But just the fact that the Steelers came into this saying, hey, we were embarrassed the first time we played them. We're going to come out and really, you know, show them who the physical team in this division is. And they just got pushed around all day long.
Well, you see that stat on the graphic, 294 yards rushing. And I love that. Pittsburgh was last in the league, 4.8 yards a carry they were giving up on defense. And Cincinnati didn't say, oh, we got to let Joe throw it all around. We'll run Joe Mixon and go right at their weakness. And they did. And it was ugly football from Pittsburgh's standpoint, but it's exactly what Cincinnati should have done.
Yeah, absolutely. And Cincinnati coming out of the bye week with the 2 straight losses going in, now 2 straight wins. And as Joe Burrow told me after the game, the idea that he's not looking for the home run on every play. He's not in love with the big play. He's just taking whatever's out there. They're realizing their offense is diverse enough. They don't have to force it to Jamar Chase. If he's getting doubled, somebody else is going to be open, or the running lane is going to be available because of safety, or both of them is focused on stopping Jamar Chase. So this is working very well for the Bengals at the perfect time of the year. We're searching for that team that's going to get hot at the right time, and there may be multiple teams like that. The Bengals are sliding into that category. Mike
Florio, you mentioned hot teams, so obviously you're making the segue straight for the New England Patriots because they've won 6 straight games. Remember, started the season 2-4, but it was an impressive win against the Tennessee Titans in which they played great defense. Mac Jones just continues to be consistent, completing 70% of his passes. But what have the Patriots figured out at this point in the season that's important?
Well, I think they're just showing up every week, and they're doing exactly what it is that their coaching staff wants them to do. When the average margin of victory for 6 straight games is 35-10, that means that everything is working that you had intended to have working on both sides of the ball. And during the course of the 60 minutes that they are playing, they are overpowering every team they face. The only close game they've had in this stretch really was the game against the Chargers. Every other game has been just the Patriots of old. And we're gradually waking up to this. It was just a 1-year break, but the Patriots of old are back after a very short hiatus, and we all have to kind of get used to that.
And I think what has happened, too, Mac Jones has given them the ability to go back and do what they've always done, tailor their game plan to who they're playing against. And Bill Belichick does a great job of going after the other team's weaknesses, and Mac Jones is executing what he's asking him to do.
Yeah, you feel like he's the perfect quarterback for this Bill Belichick team and that offense. As good as they're running the football, as great as they're playing defense and generating turnovers, giving them opportunities, it's really just asking Mac Jones to manage the game, be very efficient, and then make some plays in the pass game, convert some third downs. But he has been highly, highly efficient. You know, finding lots of completions, you know, not a lot of incompletions, just doing what they're asking him to do.
Meanwhile, we watched the Rams and the Green Bay Packers, and they're not exactly doing probably what Sean McVay would like them to do. They were coming off a bye week, Drew, so you're thinking maybe they were able to work some things out, but end up losing to the Green Bay Packers. And, you know, the Packers possessed the ball 19 minutes longer than they did. The Rams struggled to convert on third down. It seems like there's a lot of issues and inconsistencies with the offense right now.
Yeah, well, we'll start with this. They basically gave the Packers the ball inside their own territory 4 times. There were 2 fourth down conversions they didn't get. They had a fumble inside their 10, and then they had a pick 6. So it was about 20 points that they gave up. So stop right there and say you're not going to win any games, especially on the road against Green Bay. But offensively, they're not really in sync. And when they lost Robert Woods a few weeks ago, he was a huge piece of what they do, someone who was just responsible for so much. So you can't really just plug someone into that role. All of a sudden you have to possibly change up the offense for the guys that you have. You go out and get Odell Beckham Jr., but he's only been there a few weeks. So he needs to develop a rapport with Matthew Stafford, continue to have Cooper Kupp be, the focal point of what you do in the passing game, but run the football, because that's when you're truly at your best as an offense.
We see Matthew Stafford's statistics, and a lot of that correlates with Darrell Henderson getting hurt because it was that outside zone. Everybody's chasing that, then I fake it, and I've got some easy throws off the bootlegs, the play action. That hasn't been there. They only ran for 68 yards against Green Bay. That's not the Rams' game, and they've got to get that running game back.
Mike, maybe you can give us some insight into these Rams.
Well, Coach mentioned Darrell Henderson. It was supposed to be Cam Akers. This goes all the way back to July when he suffers the torn Achilles during his final individual workouts before training camp. We're just like, they'll be fine. Next man up, no problem. Well, over the course of a long season, it does become a problem, and Akers was ready to break out this year and how much better that offense would be. And, Coach, you made an excellent point earlier today. This is the game that the Rams had to have circled when they went to get Matthew Stafford, when they loaded up with Von Miller, when they lured OBJ to L.A. instead of Green Bay. The limit to their ceiling last year, that loss in Green Bay, they went back there this year, and they got some garbage time points to make it look a little prettier in the newspapers, to the extent there are any newspapers anymore. But they got blown off the field. They got blown off the field, and they have to be, 3 straight losses, they have to be wondering what's going on.
Yeah, those big acquisitions didn't really make a difference. They had the same result, and somehow that's going to change. I don't know what will be the difference, but they've got to get some production from that defensive line. Stafford's got to get back to playing like he did the first 4 weeks of the season.
Well, if there's a team that they could get healthy against, it might be the Jaguars, and that's up next for the Rams. And Florio, thank you so much for showing your age on that one with the newspaper reference. Let's go to a speed round. We're going to speed it up a little bit, and I want to start with the Dolphins and their 4-game win streak. Should we be talking about playoffs now?
Well, as crazy as it sounds, at first I said no when I saw this. But you know what? If you look at their schedule coming up, Giants, bye, Jets, at New Orleans, that's 3 games they could win, and they would be right in the thick of things.
I was going to say, if they were in the NFC, I would say yes. but they're in the AFC. The AFC is pretty stacked, so I'm going to say.
But hey, they win those 3 games and get to 8-7. Who knows?
Never know. Mike?
When they beat the Ravens, I looked at their upcoming schedule. After that trip to the Jets, they come home, and with their bye and 3 straight home games, they're literally home for the holidays. They don't go anywhere until December 27 when they play the Saints. And you got to keep them focused and not distracted, but you don't have any travel. You can settle in. You can get into a routine. And they took care of the Panthers pretty convincingly today. I think they will be 7-7 going into that 27th Monday night game against the Saints.
Hey, they wrote the Blitz book on Lamar. They went and got the win against the Panthers. Jalen Waddle looks great. Why not? Set them up for the playoffs. All right, what about the Niners? They're now 6-5. They are on a 3-game win streak, Coach. Playoffs? Are we talking playoffs?
Yes, look out for the Niners. I think they've got their mojo back. They've got their formula. If their defense continues to get healthy and rounds it back into form, this offense can score points running the football.
I agree, and I think the defense is playing well again, too. So the combination of run game and defense, that's always been their formula. That'll get them into the playoffs.
Mike?
That sense of urgency that kicks in when you start slowly and you have that desperation, that comes in handy down the stretch. They're already in the playoff mode to a certain extent, and we saw it today against a Vikings team that had, or at least should have had, that same mindset.
All right, the Broncos have won 3 of their last 4 games, but have 11 straight losses to Kansas City. And Kansas City's coming off a bye. And Coach knows what it's like to face Kansas City after a bye. Yes. Andy Reid's pretty good after a bye.
Andy Reid is very good. Started back in the late 2000 decade when I was coaching. He's been great that way. I think they're focused in, dialed in. And then Denver, Vic Fangio has a style of defense that he plays. I don't see them deviating. And everybody's had success with this shell, keep the ball in front of you. That's not the way Denver plays. So I see points going on the board.
I see a lot of points going on the board. They've gotten back to where they're just trusting Kelsey, right? Kelsey's your number 1, Tyreek, and they're finding a little bit of the run game. But I think they're showing more patience as an offense, and they're only going to take the shots when they're given to them.
And Kansas City's defense is playing better. They've been hot these last 3-4 weeks.
What chance are you giving the Broncos, Mike?
Not much of a chance, but I didn't give them much of a chance today, and they made me look like an idiot, not that I need any help. Look, the Chiefs, a few weeks ago I said the rest of the AFC West should be upset that they blew their chance to knock out the Chiefs. I think the rest of the conference now should be looking at Kansas City saying, we thought they were done. We thought it was over. And now it's bubbling up. Kansas City and New England, the best two teams in the conference.
All right. Obviously, the Bucs went on the road. They got a win in Indianapolis. Was this a bigger loss for the Colts or a bigger win for the Bucs, Coach?
I think it's a bigger loss for the Colts. They did a lot of things well, had control of the game. They're up 2 scores, really, going in to go up 3 scores and get a sack fumble. But this is a game they outplayed them, but the turnovers did it, and this is a loss that's going to be hard to recover from.
Yeah, I agree. And they lost to the Tennessee Titans twice already, and they're 2 games back from them. So really they're 3 games out of, being in front of their division. So they really need to be perfect down the stretch here. Now, they too do have a formula, but they have to take care of the football. That's what got them beat today.
Mike?
This is going to be a mad scramble for that 7th seed in the AFC, and the Colts are still alive, but they'd have a lot better chance if they had closed out opportunities they had against the Titans at home and the Buccaneers at home.
Meanwhile, the Colts sit at 6-6, the 11th seed right now in the AFC, and that's all we have for the Week 12 recap, guys. You guys did pretty good. We'll see you for Week 13. We've got the Broncos going on the road, taking on Kansas City after a bye, and as Coach said, no one really wants to be a part of that, but we wish the Broncos good luck. We wish you luck the rest of the week, and hope you join us at 7 Eastern for Football Night in America.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.